But coming up next, you're probably wondering, of all 40 of these movies, which one was the biggest bomb? Which one lost the most money? And we are here, right off the bat. It's funny. The one that made the most money is towards the end. The one that lost the most money is right here and now. This is from the year 2000. This was Supernova. Yes, Supernova, which came out January the 15th of the year 2000, grossed $14 million against a budget of $90 million. Holy shit. I will repeat for those who are hard of hearing. $14 million worldwide grossed against a budget of $90 million fucking dollars. Without a doubt, the biggest box office bomb on this entire list is Supernova. And this has a crazy, crazy story behind it. Let me get to a couple comments first. I can see why The Sixth Sense is considered horror, but you're right, it's more of a thriller than anything else. I agree with that completely. I was never shocked about the twist of The Sixth Sense. I predicted what it would be after the opening. Still a good movie, in my opinion. Totally. I'd never seen Supernova. I guess I won't now. I watched this last night out of curiosity because I was like, I want to make sure I watch the one that made the most money. I want to make sure I watch the one that made the least money. This was the one that made the least money. And the story behind the scenes of this is absolutely wild. So this movie stars James Spader, Angela Bassett, Robin Tunney, fucking Lou Diamond Phillips. You have some decent actors in there. And the whole idea was they brought in Walter Hill, and he wanted to make kind of a dark, atmospheric space horror film in similar vein to Alien, in similar vein to an Event Horizon, definitely in the ballpark of a movie like that. That was the goal of what they were trying to do. But what happened was the studio kept dabbling their fingers in this thing. And what happened is, unfortunately, Walter Hill, after a test screening, said, I don't want any touch of this. I don't want any part of this. I'm gone. I'm fucking leaving. Go fuck yourselves. Good luck. Walter Hill walks out the door. They bring in Jack Shoulder of The Hidden fame, of A Nightmare on Elm Street 2 fame. He was a longtime editor, films like The Burning. You know, Jack Shoulder's great. We love Jack Shoulder. They brought in Jack Shoulder to try to add some extended footage. So they did reshoots with Jack Shoulder. Those test screenings went slightly better. Now, what happened was after that, they said, what if we brought in an editor to try to edit Jack Shoulder's version and Walter Hill's version into one ultimate version? Who the fuck did they call? None other than the director of The Godfather himself, Mr. Francis Ford fucking Coppola, gets the call on the telephone to come in and try to re-edit this movie, 2 cuts together, to make one fucking giant Supernova movie. $90 million, you could see where it went. Reshoots here, reshoots there. Bring in the guy that directed The Godfather, have him be the editor. Oh, also, we have to pay our actors more because we want nudity scenes. Yes, apparently, history has it that they asked Robin Tunney to show her yits in this film, and she didn't want to do it. And they paid her extra to show her yits in this movie. So if there's anything positive that came out of this $90 million bomb, it's fucking Robin Tunney's yits, because they were legits. And easily the best part of this movie. But the rest of it, I mean, quite bad. It's quite a mess of a film, in my humble opinion. I think some of the casting decisions are really bad. I will say this, James Spader's great. James Spader, his performance belongs in a better movie. But it's crazy to me how much went wrong here. Like, how does this much go wrong? You went from fucking Walter Hill to Jack Shoulder to Francis Ford Coppola, and to the end, all 3 of them, none of them wanted their name on it. So they couldn't do Alan Smithy because Alan Smithy, Burn, Hollywood Burn comes out in 97. You can't use Alan Smithy anymore. They used a separate alias. So none of the 3 of them took credit for this fucking piece of shit movie that gets dumped in January of the new millennium, the first horror movie of the 21st century, and it's this piece of shit. Wild. Absolutely wild. There's a couple more things I got to get to here because it's the story of how bad the behind the scenes were are better than the movie itself. Now, Angela Bassett and James Spader have a zero gravity sex scene in the film. Angela Bassett apparently was not comfortable with doing this, and neither was James Spader. So what they did, and I shit you not, this is a true story. If you do not believe me, look it up. They took Robin Tunney. They took Robin Tunney and did like CGI to make Robin Tunney look black, like Angela Bassett. And they fucking changed this woman's color to pass her off as Angela Bassett in the sex scene with James Spader, the zero gravity sex scene. That's Robin Tunney, CGI'd black. I shit you not. That's what they did. Now, who made that call? I really think it was Francis Ford Coppola. Because if he's editing that shit together, what the fuck? That's who changed the CGI. That's who added the post special effects. It was fucking Francis Ford Coppola. This is fucking crazy. This has got to be one of the all-time craziest bombs. $76 million plus went down the fucking drain here. Probably close to $100 million because I don't know what they spent to market this. I don't know what they did, but holy fucking shit. This was a huge bomb. And it's one I just had to mention on here tonight. And I wanted to give it its screen presence because it was the biggest ever January horror movie box office bomb. So it lost about 76 million on paper, probably lost more because, like I said, you have to go into marketing, stuff like that. I don't know. Theater costs, it grossed $14 million back. So this was a monumental bomb that nobody wanted their fucking fingers on. So crazy, crazy stuff here. I was kind of glad to learn about this. And when I watched it, it made perfect sense because I was like, this is a fucking mess. I could see this was 3 directors, and it's a shame because you do have James Spader. I really like James Spader, and I like Angela Bassett. But man, Robin Tunney has nothing to do. They just have Robin Tunney there as an airhead who gets naked and has sex with Lou Diamond Phillips, has sex with the villain, and then dies. That's her character. And you could have done better. I love Robin Tunney. I think Robin Tunney's a good talent, man. But it's a shame. But I will say, I mean, if there's one positive, I've never seen Supernova. I guess I won't now. It lost a lot of money. That's a huge one. The Monkey is in the house. What year did Supernova come out? January of 2000. The very first horror movie of the 21st century. And boy, it kicked us off into a bunch of shit. They'll never learn, man. And they kept trying to save it. Like they kept trying to throw money at this to save it. Fuck it. We'll bring in Francis Ford Coppola? Nobody's going to save this movie now. Nobody. It should have been shelved forever. They never should have released this. It was a really horrendous movie. Yes, Angela Bassett also in fourth Critters movie. What the fuck? It took 3 directors. It took $90 million. It took 2 Robin Tunneys. It was quite a fucking bomb here. They did not learn anything from Ghost of Mars and Battlefield Earth. No, and crazy enough, Event Horizon, it gets its shit. I know a lot of people make fun of that movie. Event Horizon is Citizen Kane compared to this movie. Like you want to see this movie done right? Watch Event Horizon. It's much better than this movie. And that's saying so because Event Horizon by no means a classic movie, but it's way better than this. Like you watch those 2 movies back to back, I don't think you find one person that tell you Event Horizon is worse than this movie. Not even anyone, even if you hate Event Horizon, I couldn't see you putting this movie over. It's so bad. Triple M, Mernzy's in the house. Mernzy Movie Mansion. What up, Grande? Never even heard of this. Thought Supernova was a Power Man 5000 song. Well, you might not be wrong, but I had never heard of it either. But it was one that I definitely was like, holy shit, that lost crazy fucking money. I've got to get into this one. And I did all of the research on this. I was like, wow, this is something else. There was a horror comedy that came out in January of 2000 called Psycho Beach Party that paid homage to those 1950s movies. Yeah, no, that's definitely one of lesser note. There's some here where they were of lesser note. Like there, you have the After Dark Horror Fest of like 2005 or 2006. I like some of those movies, but again, they didn't come out worldwide in theaters, so I scanned over them. There's some here where I scanned over. Apparently, the budget went Supernova. Damn right it did. I like Event Horizon too. I would definitely say, compared to this movie, Event Horizon's like Citizen Kane. It really, truly is. But let's move on. That was the biggest bomb of all of these movies. Let's move on to the next one here. But moving on into a movie that was released the same day, January the 28th of 2005. This was our first $100 million maker on this list. This is Hide and Seek. Yes, Hide and Seek with fucking Robert fucking De Niro. Robert fucking De Niro over here. Your heart's having problems. This was around the time. Oh, hold on. Sorry. I'll get into the numbers here. The numbers, right? Hide and Seek, January the 28th of 2005, $30 million budget, grossed $127.3 million. Yes. Wow. Crazy big hit. Crazy big hit considering what this movie is. Now, I know this movie has its fans. There are people who I was making fun of it actually in a group chat, and people started being like, yo, I actually like it. So people started defending it. So maybe I'm alone in this because this is a movie where I fucking laugh. I think this is hysterically funny movie and not in a good way. Like it's trying to be a seriously effective, scary horror film. And man, it's not, in my opinion, at least. So basically, if you haven't seen this one tells this is well, I guess I give kind of a forefront. This was around the time where Robert De Niro felt like he was taking every fucking script in the world. My theory is Robert De Niro had a dartboard at home, would put like 6 or 7 scripts on the dartboard, close his fucking eyes, and just start throwing darts. And whichever one he hit 3 times in a row, bam, he would pick that script. And that's why I think Robert De Niro did this movie. I think that won the game of darts. I think Robbie fucking De Niro and your heart's having problems. I think Robert fucking De Niro said, bam, I'm doing hide and seek. Give me the script for this. The script and the story, if you don't know, if you're not familiar with it, I'll fucking explain it because it's hysterical. Robert De Niro is supposed to play a young father, right? Because he's so young, around 2005. Because he's just a young chap, straight after Taxi Driver. I mean, there was no time in between then. But he is the young father of Dakota Fanning's character. And of course, his wife dies in a terrible, horrible accident. He moves her out of the neighborhood and he starts to fall in love with Elizabeth Shue's character. And basically, his daughter starts talking and seeing this imaginary friend that in turn starts committing these violent murders. And her imaginary friend's name is Charlie. This movie made $127.3 million fucking dollars. And I don't know how. Like, it must have just been like people being like, Robert De Niro in a horror movie? What? That's my guess as to why this movie made money. I remember renting this, and I do remember this movie. So I guess it's more memorable than White Noise for whatever it's worth. Because at least it's memorably bad to me. So spoilers here. I'm going to spoil this movie if because it does have a twist. This is one of those classic movies where Robert De Niro just decides to turn heel at the end. And the entire time, the imaginary friend Charlie was Robert fucking De Niro. And he's killing all these motherfuckers. I shit you not. This movie made almost $130 million. And it's Robert De Niro playing a young father and turns into a psychopathic imaginary friend killer. You just can never tell what is or is not going to make money. I think it's wild. And I don't see many people mentioning in the comments whether they like this one or not, but man, it's something. That is quite something for me. This entire idea, this entire thing to make that much money. It's flabbergasting to me. The movie gets a 5.8 on IMDb. I would say it's there, if not lower. I think it's not a good film at all. De Niro is one of my favorite actors. Yeah, no, absolutely. Hide and Seek was iffy at best for me. Sure. Yeah, no, Brett, we got to play the dark game sometime. De Niro and horror should be 2 parallel lines. That never touched. Frankenstein's creature was not credible either. Not at all. And I know a lot of people like Cape Fear, the remake of Cape Fear. He's great in that. I will agree he's great in that. It has horror elements. But this movie right here, what the fuck? Like Robert De Niro. And I remember the way they promoted this was actually hysterical. Like the trailer of it was really funny. Where fucking Dakota Fanning was like, Charlie, Charlie. Like they had her keep saying the name, so you'd think this was some evil entity. And the whole time it's fucking Robert De Niro. I mean, it was, when I seen this, I remember howling, laughing. Like, what the fuck has the world come to? Where Robert De Niro is playing an imaginary friend killer. The Master of Fear is here. What's going on? Happy New Year, Fear. What I never even heard of that garbage. Yeah, no, I'd understand why. A lot of De Niro fans that don't watch horror are the ones that thought it was great. Oh, really? How could anyone think this was great, though? I would be astonished if people thought this was great, but, is what it is. In the movie, the little girl says, come out wherever you are. Robert De Niro also says it in the Cape Fear remake. I didn't know that. I missed yours. Oh, I missed your comment? Let me see. Was it this one? Multiple endings that changes the whole film. Oh, okay. Was that this movie or... I'm not sure because I didn't know if this had a production history of multiple endings. Maybe there was an ending where Robert De Niro wasn't the fucking killer, which would, to me, it can't dissociate the film with that. So that is Hide and Seek.